Tackled right in centre field. 29 out now. Brasher at acting half. Sirenen, big Ciro, made half a bust there. And that's the last tackle, says referee Simpkins. What will Balmain do? Tim Brasher elects to kick for his winger, and it's a good kick too. Plenty of pressure there. It's been knocked back inside. That might be very close to a try for Balmain, but the South Sydney defence was eager, and they crash him into touch.
He got the ball back on the inside, but the touch coach put his flag up, so he's obviously called the Balmain player, Josh Bostock, to have put the foot on the line. Here's the play here. Nice top tap back. Now, he's going
Milford
for the line.
Yeah, it was Milford, and he was crunched over. South Sydney, as a result, back in possession. There's a replay. Marty Moore for South Sydney, the winger, didn't at any stage really contest that ball.
I think he thought it was going to go over the sideline. He gets the ball inside there, but I think Milford actually had his foot on the line as he took the pass.
So back. Driscoll.
Just methodical, isn't it? One after the other, they're going forward. They're all getting themselves into this game, setting a platform for the side, and they'll get a kick on the end of this and get down there and try and put Balmain under some pressure.
O'Meara, the fullback, trying to get involved, runs out of acting half. It goes back to Daryl Trindle, who elects not to kick. He steps off his right and his left. Great run by Daryl Trindle. He looks for support, finds it. South Sydney must score. They've got a huge overlap on the far side of the field. Hogan turned the ball back on the inside. It's been picked up now by Sutton, and tricky Trindle crashes over to South Sydney. Very exciting football. They certainly kept the ball alive. I thought for a moment the movement had come to nothing. A fortuitous bounce for South Sydney in the end that led to the try scored by Daryl Trindle.
That was great play from Trindle, wasn't it? We talked about them working it out and being methodical, but they were down in the Balmain end, so Trindle decided to take them on the last. Put a number of tackles there, then threw a bit of a speculator, knowing it was the last tackle. You caught a certain try here, David, but the Balmain defence recovered well. But this is Trindle makes the try here because really he still had no right to score, but that was a beautiful left foot step to get inside the winger and score the try. He started it and he finished it.
Ellery Hanley is not scared to take the hit-ups here this afternoon. Morrison, spirited run by the Balmain lock forward. He's pulled up 10 metres short of the South Sydney try line. Good opportunity now for Balmain as they use the football. Swinging it wide, William Kennedy was taken in what appeared to be a high tackle. The referee will think about that one and decide what he'll do. It might be a caution on the run. Now it's Michael Gillette as they work the eastern side of the ground. They're 11 metres out from the South Sydney try line. And Matt Manning was the tackler for South Sydney. They elect to use the blindside, Balmain, and it's a very short blindside. Here's a chance for them. That's a great try over on the far side of the field for James Langaloa. A try that really came from nothing, but South Sydney went to sleep on the blindside.
I don't think many defensive sides would have expected Balmain to go down that short side there. When you're attacking the opposition's try line, you've got so much space in the open, you're probably going to tend to go there 9 times out of 10, or even more, and they decided to run up that short side. We see it here. Beautiful little short ball. Shane Walker popped it to Langaloa and he just dived over. Interesting that Balmain decided to take the tap. They had a penalty in which they could have taken a conversion attempt. Gillette's looked good since he's come on. He's got the ball in his hands and darted around a little bit. Now here's the short side. Walker just ran a little bit of an arc down there. He took 2 players with him. Langaloa's done well to get over without going into touch.
Langaloa, an excitement machine. He's one of these blokes that when he handles the football, the crowd tends to rise as one. He's got some pace. Waiting now for South Sydney with the recommencement of play. 6 points all. Pretty good game of football at Leichhardt Oval, and hope you're enjoying it on Sports Australia. Oh, Adam Starr. A miraculous piece of handling there. I thought he was going to knock it dead in goal.
I wouldn't be surprised if that ball was going to go over the dead ball line on the full, which would have been a penalty to Balmain on the halfway line. But this wind, it's got to be stronger than we're realising up here, David. Yeah,
the ball really carried there from the kickoff. Here's a replay now of Starr attempting to field it.
If he lets that go, I think it might have gone dead. He probably needed a call from one of his teammates. But that wind, Daryl Trindle just tapped that ball, put it up in the air and let the wind carry it, and it certainly carried it a long way.
There's the penalties for you. South Sydney 4, Balmain 3. We're 12 minutes out from half-time. 6 all on the scoreboard as Simon takes the touch finder for South Sydney. Skelly is going to take the tap restart. Trindle, Ruben's gone without it. In fact, he overran the ball there. Good chance for Balmain. They've got numbers as it sails out to Michael Gillette, who links up with the excitement machine, William Kennedy. Kennedy's away. He sprints down the eastern touchline. He's going to go all the way, William Kennedy. a try. We put the refs on the board, and we've got another brawl over here in the centre of the field whilst that try is being scored. Well, that old rivalry between South Sydney and Balmain, you can feel it here at Leichhardt Oval this afternoon. Great try by William Kennedy. Let's have a look at the replay, Jason Taylor. It was a fortuitous bounce. Ellery Hanley, Michael Gillette's played outstanding football since he's been on. And then really, it was shut the gate, put down the glasses. William Kennedy in space. He had hectares to run in. O'Meara, valiant, trying to get across. And here's the other replay.
There were chases coming across there, but Kennedy just outsprinted him. Now you see in the background here, Hanley, after he passed the ball, was grabbed by a South player. Now, the referee and touch judge are still talking about it. Now, if South are not awarded, Balmain are not awarded this try because of that, Wayne Pearce won't be too happy about it, but it was great work from Gillette, as you said. Hanley just moved the ball out to him. He ran at the first defender and jinked outside and picked up Kennedy, and he just left him in his wake.
Well, he's got to award the try. I mean, it was a South Sydney player that created the problem in the first place. He's sending Ellery Hanley to the sin bin.
I think he's going to send them both. Brendan O'Meara was the player who tackled Hanley after he passed the ball. The other touch judge is still waiting down where the try was scored, so things look good for Balmain in that area.
Oh, he couldn't not award the try. So Ellery Hanley sent to the bin for 10 minutes. They seem to have lost their composure and momentum. That was Ostini taking the hit up for them. It goes back to Trindle. Trindle, the most experienced player in this South Sydney team, and that goes into touch. He kicked it from within his own 42. So South Sydney will get the loose and the feed. Excellent attacking opportunity for the Rabbits. They trail by 4 points on the scoreboard. And Trindle puts the ball in. There's the tackles for you on screen. Trindle, he offloads brilliantly to Craig Simon, who was met in a crunching tackle by Tim Brasher. A tackle that had to be made. Oh, Trindle from acting half. The Balmain marked the defence, but it was non-existent. And he scores his second try of the match, Trindle, leading by example the South Sydney skipper. And that is the sort of thing that makes coaches cry. Wayne Pearce would be ripping his hair out. They went to sleep, Balmain. And if you do that, you're going to pay the price. Easy try. Trindle will never score an easier one.
Daryl Trindle, look, it's just a dummy and a dive over, but there's more to it than that. He's always been in this South Sydney side. He's been there for a number of years, and he's never really taken the role as a senior player. He's always been coming off the bench or be in the side now and then have a few good games and then not play so well and go back to the bench. But
I don't think Brasher was exactly sure what he was going to do himself there, as Darren Burns takes the hit up for South Sydney. Well tackled by Big Ciro across the top. Skelly, they prepare now for the kick. Trindle inside his own 40. That's a very good kick by Trindle. That goes into touch. And once again, South Sydney will get the loose head and feed. He's exploiting this new rule to the fullest, Daryl Trindle.
Is he? Well, he's got that wind behind him, and that was just perfect. He stood inside his 40-metre zone. He put it down there. It doesn't get any better than that, David. He's run it. It's 10 metres out from the Balmain try line. They'll have the scrum feed. The south side, they'll have... Well, we see Daryl Trindle run from dummy half again and then run from the scrum base again and then try and go from dummy half. I don't think so, but he's just leading this side so well.
Could be a carbon copy. Interested spectator here at the Leichhardt Oval. Phil Gould, Sydney City and New South Wales State of Origin coach. There's a mess in the scrum. Balmain back in possession. Well, South Sydney really can rue things of that nature because they had an ideal attacking opportunity. Trindle getting involved there in some heated words. The picture tells the story. He's not a happy boy. Balmain get the penalty. Replay of that. You have to call it a mess, not a scrum.
It was just one of those. Look, nobody can be blamed for that. Honestly, nobody can be blamed. Trindle went to pick the ball up. The Balmain foot came out and kicked the ball unintentionally. And then because the ball was out of the scrum, they were allowed to break and dive on it.
Paul Sirenen trying to get the Tigers kick started. The crowd love it when the big fella hits the ball up. South Sydney very lucky not to be penalised there. They took an eternity to get off the tackle. Player Mark O'Neill caught in possession for the Balmain side. Well, South Sydney are treading a very thin line here. Ian Rubin there, also lucky. Michael Gillette's short kick and a brilliant 1-2. It's fielded on the full by William Kennedy. He's away again up the eastern touchline. He offloads to Langaloa, and Balmain score a spectacular rugby league try, as good as you'll ever see. And what sort of a game is Michael Gillette having?
That was some of the smartest rugby league you'll see. The South Sydney, the Balmain crowd were cheering or jeering because South Sydney were looking like being offside. You were talking about them treading a fine line. So Gillette, when the South Sydney players have sprinted up, he's put a chip over the top. Now these two, they've just got speed to burn.
Magnificent player, Kennedy, and Langaloa, the support player, did very well there not to go into touch.
You see the South players sprint up, so the chip's just the perfect option. There's nobody in behind them. Landed perfectly in Kennedy's arms. Now, the speed to actually run past through and make two have to be worried about Kennedy's pace of going all the way.
I thought Langaloa did very well to stay in touch because he only had about 2 centimetres to work in. And we've had about 5 3/4 minutes gone in this second half. That's the last tackle now for South Sydney. It goes to Trindle, who steps off his right, gets away from Ellery Hanley, gets away from Paul Sirinen. He's still going, Trindle. That's a darty run. He offloads back on the inside to O'Meara, who unfortunately couldn't control the ball. Now Michael Gillette's got it for Balmain, but an exciting passage of play there by Daryl Trindle. Now it's Langaloa for Balmain out of acting half. Langaloa's going to go all the way. He gets through some feeble defence, and Langaloa does the war dance and then places the ball directly under the black dot. What about this? Balmain, Langaloa, there was nothing on. He skipped out of acting half, and you saw the results. Balmain 18 leading South Sydney 10.
It seems to be just a question of possession, doesn't it? The team who holds the ball and gets the field position in this game is going to win it. And Langaloa, he went to dummy half, and we've seen him a number of times just beat men easily.
Watch the war dance here, Jason. Before he puts it down, he does the little hop, skip, and jump. There it is.
And he placed it down ever so softly.
And he's grinning like a carpet snake in a foul house. He's happy.
He enjoyed that one.
Brasher from right in front will attempt the conversion as you watch the replay with James Langaloa. And he puts it down. A joyous occasion for him. And the Balmain fans have something more to cheer about because Tim Brasher has just converted the try from right in front.
He had half an opportunity there, Bostock, but I don't think even he thought Morrison was going to be able to get that ball away.
Hudson Smith kept the ball alive. It comes back to Jolly. Jolly! Jolly! He's pulled up now 6 metres short of the South Sydney try line. Desperation stuffed by the Rabbits. Here comes the long passing now. Tim Brasher steps back on the inside. The referee's called it back for the changeover.
He called a forward pass or the last?
Well, it had to have been a forward pass because the tackle was not affected on Brasher. Here it is again.
Okay, he's called a forward pass from dummy half, Hanley.
Yep, you're right. And it was too. No doubt about it. So Darren Burns, I beg your pardon, Paul Quinn for South Sydney.
But when they get down into the opposition's territory, they want to tend to start moving the ball a little bit more, I think. Not be so easy to pick off going one out.
So now it's left to Paul Quinn to bring it back for the Rabbits from the line dropout. Sirinen combining with a Balmain player in the shape of Adam Starr to effect that tackle. Now it's Driscoll for South Sydney. Starr playing in jumper number 17. He was in the run-on side today. Simon darting across field, turned it back on the inside to Burns for South Sydney. He keeps the ball alive and finds Donnie McLeod, and the man they call Cowboy puts the ball down right behind the goalposts. Souths are back in this one. 13 minutes out from full time.
Well, they are, and I talked about them going in a few more numbers. They went forward. There was plenty of support there, and Simon did well. He's taken over from Trindle, as you said, turned the ball inside.
To Burns, who did a good job to get the ball away.
Extremely well there.
He had big Paul Sirinen hanging off him, and he got the ball away to McLeod.
Just mixed it up a little bit, didn't they? Simon went across field instead of just hitting the ball up, which they'd been doing. Turned Burns inside. He beat someone with a good step, and Sirinen tried desperately to get him, and McLeod goes in under the post. Just a little bit of variation in their play, going with a bit of support.